Hi everyone, welcome to the first GoDaddy Pro webinar we're holding here. This one's going to be for selling online using WordPress. And before we get started, I just want to thank everyone for being here. I know there are a lot of options right now for webinars to attend, and we really appreciate you coming to ours and letting us share a little bit of our knowledge with you. Just to kick things off a little bit before we get into the meat of the webinar here, I'd like to see if anybody would be willing to share who you are and what you do. If you want to just drop a website link, your website URL into the chat, that'd be great. I just want to see who's here. Can everyone hear me? There we go. Hi, Cami. I think I've seen you in the community before. All right, that looks good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and introduce my co-pilot here, Mike Chorba. You see him on screen. You want to say hi, Mike? Tell everybody who you are, what you're doing here.
Yeah, hi everybody. I see a lot of familiar faces. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Mike Chorba, and I'm a community manager for GoDaddy Pro. Primarily, my focus right now is getting our @GoDaddy Pro Twitter handle up and running. So if you're not following that handle, please do so. We're going to have some fun with it and make sure we're providing a lot of really relevant, helpful information for everybody. So my job today will be to be in the chat and to engage with everyone, provide some helpful links, and make sure that all your questions are getting moved over into the proper field so that they can be answered. So thanks, everybody. I'm going to drop off video and hand it over to these two.
Sounds good, Mike. Thanks. All right, so next we've got Justin Nealey, and he's going to be presenting the information we're sharing on the webinar here today. Justin, you want to introduce yourself and tell us what you're going to be talking about?
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Can everyone hear me okay? Yep. Cool. Awesome. My name is Justin Nealey. I work at GoDaddy. I've been working here for almost 8 years now. I'm responsible for ensuring our care guides that are equipped to better serve you, our designers and developers. I create trainings and all sorts of other stuff too. I'm also a designer myself. I've been designing WordPress sites, I think, once I started working at GoDaddy and fell in love with WordPress and the community. I've spoken at a couple WordCamps. I've tried to get involved with as many WordCamps as possible. I'm an organizer for Phoenix. So everything WordPress and design is basically what I focus on. And super happy to really talk about the topic here today, which is selling online with WordPress. We'll have a Q&A towards the end, but if you want in the Crowdcast chat, I believe it's toward the bottom with everyone. You can go ahead and click Ask a Question. We'll try to answer as many as we can, but feel free to engage and ask questions and talk to each other in the chat as we go along. If there's any questions that is relevant to whatever I'm talking about at the moment, we'll try to get those answered on the fly. But at the very end, we'll knock this out. Was there anything else we need to go over here before we jump on, Angela?
Nope, I think we're ready to get started if you're ready.
All right, first time using Crowdcast, so let's see how this share screen works.
Yeah, we're all going to be learning together.
All right. Da, da, da. Awesome. So with a Mac, if once you ask it to share screen, it asks to quit. So I'm going to jump off and then jump back on. I definitely apologize. All right, that was fun. Gotta love beta tests. Just give me one moment. I gotta get everything set back up. All right. Take two. It almost worked. All right, so I am sharing my screen. Can everyone see my screen? Yes, awesome. Technology. All right, so we're talking about helping your clients sell online with WordPress. Before we really get started, I'd love for you all to kind of just gauge the room and let me know, have you helped a client build a site, an online store before? Let me know in the chat below. Cool. We have about half and half. Awesome. So this whole session will kind of give us a couple of solutions and demos with using some super popular plugins to enable you to set up your clients with the online store. Online stores can be scary for a lot of people. It's super overwhelming with how much that goes into it, but hopefully slide is coming through choppy. Cool. Let me try a different browser and I'll be right back again.
All right, guys, while we wait for Justin, anybody want to share an e-commerce site that you either finished recently or have been currently working on? Can you hear me? Ah, there we go. Yeah, don't be shy. Ah, gotcha. Ooh, Truffle Queen. I'm gonna have to look at that one right now. These are some really awesome websites, guys. Yeah, we're all adults here, but probably not webinar appropriate. I appreciate you mentioning though, James. Oh, here we got Justin again.
So take 172.
All right, I'm gonna dip back out.
Alrighty. Groovy. 1 second here. All right. So moving on. Cool. So the world has moved to virtual, getting back on track here. So selling online isn't a nice to have. It's a necessity for your clients to survive. And you all being designers and developers yourselves, you have an incredible skill set to really help those clients elevate their business and really help push them over the fence of, should I be selling online or shouldn't I? It's not a should I or shouldn't I, it's I have to, and you have the opportunity to really help them. So when we talk about why selling online is important, it really starts with increases the reach for your audience. So these are really talking points if those clients that you're working with are still kind of on the fence with whether or not they should or shouldn't. So these can be translated to them, but it increases the reach. Anyone in the world can now be their customer, which is fantastic. It's not just a small community world, it's now global. It's also more convenient. So customers don't need to leave their house. I don't have to put on my pants and shoes to go buy anything anymore. Since all this pandemic, I think I've online shop more so than I have in the past few years. And I've been buying some ridiculous stuff just because it's so convenient. I'm trying to help out small businesses. But their website becomes their hardest working employee. And I preach this a lot. A website itself, like if you think about it, it never takes a break. It never asks for a vacation, never calls out sick, never complains. It's always working for them. So making the website an added source of generating revenue just adds on top of that, makes it an even more valuable employee. Also, maybe towards the end, but the world is virtual, but the online is the new normal with COVID-19. So adapting to this new world is the only way to survive as a business. We can't just do business as usual. Things have to adjust and change. And I've seen some super creative ideas come out of this pandemic that businesses are taking on. And it's likely that they're going to continue with this. This is a time to really test out new ideas that we were kind of on the fence about, and just like, hey, let's throw it at the wall, see if it works. An online store is a great way to kind of just elevate their business and adapt to this day and age. It also provides way more value to your clients when you're setting them up with a way for them to generate revenue directly on their website, whether it's physical products or consultations or memberships, anything like that. The website now is seen as a way to generate revenue versus just I have to have a website because everyone has a website. And then lastly, it allows you to earn more for your work. Online stores are can be complicated to set up. There's a lot that goes into it, especially if you're just getting started with it. But as you get more adapted to it and more experience, you get it becomes a lot easier, but it's still overwhelming for a small business owner to do themselves. And they see the value that an online store can bring, which means that you get extra work, whether it's transitioning those sites from informational to e-commerce or just on those initial builds, which is awesome. So when we think about an online store, there are really 4 components of an online store that we want to convey to our audience. Websites and product, I like to think of them as separate. The website itself helps tell that business owner's story. It's super important to still have, right? Because at the end of the day, most businesses sell somewhat the same things than their competitors, but the reason why a customer chooses them is because of their brand. It's why they do what they do every day. And the website is there to really help portray that. And then you have the products itself, whether it's physical products that they're selling, digital products, or or services with that. Then you need a shopping cart and payment solution. Obviously, customers can't just come up to you and hand you cash to pay for your items. So you need some sort of solution there. And then fulfillment. This part's forgotten a lot. This is how they're going to fulfill the products to their customers. I have a friend that had a beard oil business. And when he got started, things were great. And then the orders started to pile up, and he didn't have a system in place to handle all the orders that he ended up getting, and had to stop business because he wasn't serving his customers fast enough. So it's something that you want to think about and talk to your clients about, just to ensure that they set up that strategy ahead of time versus waiting too late and becoming overwhelmed. So we're going to go into some solutions and demos. I wanted to make this really specific to an objective that the customer or your client might need, along with demos. I had everything pre-set up prior to me having to restart a couple times, so it might be a little rocky as I kind of get going. But I want to start off with keeping it simple for our clients. So for clients that just does not need all the bells and whistles, just needs a simple solution for them to sell directly on their website. These 3 options are fantastic for it, starting with Stripe payments. So this is a quick installation and setup. You can sell files, digital goods, or downloads using just your Stripe merchant account. And the good thing about this plugin is that customers can pay directly on the website itself. So there's no redirecting to a third-party site. So it's all directly there. Customers, of course, will need an SSL to make sure their connection is secure, but that goes without saying. So I think the actual setup for this plugin takes roughly 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes to get everything going and your first product added. And it's pretty easy to add on whatever pages you might need it. It's just a simple short code. WordPress simple PayPal shopping cart goes a bit of a step further here. So it adds a add to cart for your products, but also creates a shopping cart. Stripe payments will just do a button to click and then pays right there. The WordPress simple PayPal shopping cart will create a basket, if you will. And then once that basket is all put together, customers can be redirected and paid directly on PayPal itself. And then lastly, I'm going to do a demo of Contact Form 7 PayPal and Stripe add-on. But this is a free add-on to the popular Contact Form plugin. I think a majority of people end up using Contact Form 7 just because of how easy it is to get set up. Gravity Forms, others are great competitors, but I want to set this one up. So you can set item names, price, SKU ID per contact form. There's built-in language support with PayPal and Stripe, which is awesome. And it's built-in support for 25 different currencies, which is great as you think of your website really serving a global audience versus just the small community that they were in before. So let's go ahead and check out a demo. Yeah. Let me log in as well. All right, so when it's all said and done, it'll be set up like this. I'm going to show you how you can easily set it up, but it's a simple Contact Form 7. And when they go to proceed to payment, it will redirect them to PayPal or Stripe. So the plugin itself is this little guy here. So if we view details, it's a free plugin. It has tons of demos and documentation, pretty good reviews as well. But the first thing we want to do is actually set up the contact form. Sorry, the first thing we want to do is set up the PayPal and Stripe settings here before you go into the actual contact form. I'm only going to set up PayPal just because it's a little bit easier. It needs less information. All it needs is my email address here and for me to turn on sandbox mode. Stripe will need some other information found inside of Stripe's API section. Stripe has great support, can help you figure this out if you do get stuck, but there's also a quick link as well. But inside here, you would just enter in the email address of your client that they will want to use, and then it's time to add a contact form. So by default, when you set up Contact Form 7, it'll give you just a pretty standard contact form. You can edit as needed, but you can see here that I have a couple of options set up. I help you grow your personal brand. Consultations are $99 an hour if I can spell. Under PayPal and Stripe is where we'll want to set up the actual redirection that happens so customers can pay you. So you'll check the box, enable PayPal on this form, put in an email code. If you're using Stripe, I'm going to leave it alone for now. Item description, let's just do consultation services. Again, I can't type. Price, $99.99. And a SKU, if you guys want to put a SKU here, I'm going to leave it blank for now. So by default, it'll automatically set up at the end of the redirection. Because it is a contact form, it'll look pretty plain. So you can add in whatever other information you may want on this. It's like I help you grow your personal brand. Consultations are $99.99 per hour. I updated the submit to be proceed to payment. By default, it'll just say send and then it redirects, which is kind of a weird experience for customers. So if you're going to use this route, I recommend updating here. And then if you are going to use Stripe and PayPal, there is a way to set up the actual dropdown so your clients' customers can choose whatever is easiest for them. So we're going to choose drop-down menu. I want to keep that in mind, this little name right here. And then I have the template on this page. I'm going to cheat here a little bit. Sorry, I want to do a select menu. All right, cool. So menu 22, I'll keep that here. And then I would save it at the end. And then I will take this short code on whichever page that I'm setting this up. For me, I'm going to do contact form demo as I read Andy's ditto. And then you just copy pasta it in, update, and then you can preview the site, which was this page I had right here. So it's updated. I would just type in my name, my email address. Can help you with all the things. I need lots of help. I'll pay with PayPal and then click proceed to payment. The client is automatically sent an email once someone submits that. And then there's an option to set this up here as far as the payments go. So that's contact form 7, super simple, super basic for customers that just need something nice and easy to set up without a lot of setup, really, rather. So as we look at a different solution here, we have restaurants and online ordering. Obviously, the restaurant owners can't have people dining into their location. So online ordering has become a super popular thing. Lots of business owners are using things like Grubhub and DoorDash and Uber Eats to set this up, but they can actually set this up directly on their website and to keep all of the funds, because I know there's a bit of a charge there. So I'm going to show you all RestroPress. There are a couple ones out there that are pretty good. I've used this one in the past with a couple of my clients, and it's been super easy to set up, which is why I wanted to show you all this. But it's a standard standalone plugin. You don't need anything else. You can set up both pickup and delivery. There's instant notifications for clients. It's pretty user-friendly. So let's check out this demo. And when it's all said and done, it'll look like this. But while I'm setting this up, has anyone else used any other type of online ordering plugin before? And if so, drop it in the chat. All right, so once the plugin is installed, it will automatically set up that page that I showed you with a nice and easy short code. There we go. But as we go through the different settings here, it's pretty straightforward when it comes to order amount. What I like about RestroPress is you can set up a minimum order amount. That way you don't have your clients, customers don't just do like a $2 Coke for a delivery that may not be worth it in the long run. So you can set a minimum order. It'll automatically set up the checkout page, success page, transaction failed, orders, things like that. You can set your base country. You can set currencies, your order notifications. The payment gateways are pretty standard. You have PayPal standard, cash on delivery if you do delivery, Amazon here, and then you can add those little options in, which is nice and easy. You can set up your different email notifications for your clients. So if you want to have a custom message that goes out, super nice. But actually adding in a product is pretty straightforward. I want to set up my food categories first because I want to make it be pretty easy here. It's the same as you would add a post category or another product category. So we'll just put dinner. The slug will automatically be created, and I'll add a new food category. So nice and easy there. And then let's go ahead and add an actual food item. So who's hungry and has a great recommendation of a food item to add? Let me know in the chat. First one wins. Pad Thai. After my heart, Andy. All right. So your super awesome description will go here. I'm going to have it under the dinner menu. We have the item price. We'll do $12.99. Lots of great options in the chat too. Thanks for that, everyone. You can set up a handcrafted excerpt if you'd like. Put your tags here. I'm going to just put it yummy. And then set your food image. I didn't have pad thai directly here, so I'll go to Pexels really quick. If you don't know what Pexels is, pexels.com has, all right, maybe not Pexels for pad thai. Thai restaurant, there we go. All right, cool. We'll import that photo here. Need to update their search algorithm. All right, cool. So we got this awesome photo. We have our name. We have our description. We have our food price. We have our food category. I didn't set up an add-on category here, but we'll just go ahead and publish. Super nice and easy. And now that is live on the website. It looks super clean, looks polished. Customers can quickly search. It has an Ajax search function, so it's not going to reload as they search. And when they're ready to get this added, they can set their delivery times, which you can set in the WordPress settings for RestroPress. And with this, you can set a lead time for your clients. So if it takes them 30 minutes to make a meal or an hour to make a meal, it will basically add on an hour and then however long it takes to deliver, which is super cool. So you can set that up and update. Maybe. There we go. And then you just add to cart and then you can check out from there. I don't have any payment set up, so it won't go any further, but this is a nice and easy plugin to use to get set up and have your online ordering for your clients. And it doesn't take a lot of legwork to do. It just needs their products and go from there. All right. Cool. All right, membership or Paywall isn't a Paywall. Paywall is another one I wanted to talk about. This one has become pretty popular when we think of just any type of business that used to do like in-person consultations or create content. I know a lot of fitness trainers are creating some type of membership or Paywall site to have their members pay them, and then they get access to all of their awesome courses or classes and cool workout sessions, which is nice and easy. Membership websites are a lot more complicated than standard stores because there's a lot of different permissions that go in, which users can see which page versus which tier, which is why I'm not going to do a demo on this one. We would need a separate section or a separate webinar just for that. But I wanted to call out Paid Membership Pro. So it's designed for premium content sites, clubs, subscriptions, exclusive communities, and more. So it's super awesome. My local dance studio is doing this for their dance students. That is awesome. We're overcoming and adapting, but it's a freemium plugin. So out of the box, most clients are perfectly fine with just using the free model. The paid plugin will obviously have extra cool features, but it is a cool way when we think about even us as designers, if we want to start creating some type of membership for specific content that we do. Maybe we have a course on editing a website that we want to start selling. You all can use this for your own business too, with thinking about some type of membership option. Then when we look at digital products, there are plenty of other plugins that can offer digital products, things just like WooCommerce, but I want to call out Easy Digital Downloads. They're geared specifically for downloads. They support tons of payment gateways. There's a front-end shopping cart that makes it super easy for you to get your clients set up. This is great if your clients are selling like ebooks or video series or things of that nature to get set up nice and easy. It is a freemium plugin. Most features are available nice and free for you. Otherwise, it is they have some awesome add-ons available to really extend out the shopping cart just based on your client's needs. And then last but not least here, flexible for almost any type of store. Was it not showing before? Oh, I don't know. Cool. That works.
Yeah, it was showing before, but you were split, and so I started kind of experimenting. So sorry about that. I think people can see this better. Sorry, guys, that I didn't realize that sooner.
Neither did I. Groovy. We can
All
see
right,
it all.
get back to, oh, actually, sorry to interrupt. We did have a question when you were on the RestroPress demo. James
Yes.
wanted to know if you were on the Woo Ecom platform.
So this hosting is technically on the Woocommerce. RestroPress is not a WooCommerce plugin. It's a third-party one that's free to use. I know WooCommerce has a basically online ordering type plugin. I think someone put it in the chat. I'm unsure if it comes with our offer, but I can follow up and get that information later. Dramatic effects for WooCommerce.
I'll let you get back to your regular presentation now.
Groovy. But WooCommerce, I think most of us have come across WooCommerce at some point in our career. WooCommerce developed and supported by Automatic, the creators of WordPress.com. So it's super flexible. There's tons of payment options, hundreds of plugins developed by WooCommerce and third-party developers. You can create a traditional online store all the way up to membership sites and everything in between, like the online ordering or services and all their different things available. I'm going to take you through some of the rest. I feel you there, Anne-Marie. I have a love-hate relationship with it too, mostly love. But I'm going to take you through a bit of a demo and kind of go through our onboarding experience, talk about the WooCommerce Quick Start Wizard, how to add a product, and then the CSV import, which I think is forgotten a lot, but it'll help out when it comes to managing clients. And for some reason, when I share, my mouse is hidden, except on my share screen sign. All right, so our new experience with e-commerce, we've tried to make it as easy as possible to really set up an e-commerce site. And with our managed WooCommerce offering, you get tons of premium plugins that make it a lot easier to accomplish most of your tasks that you might need to when it comes to an online store. Everything from like automatic UPS shipping or USPS shipping, follow-up emails, and things like that. But as we go through, as soon as you get your client set up on this plan, you get presented with a few premium templates to kind of choose from and just get started with. These are here to hopefully help jumpstart your building experience from there. So when we look at any of these themes, you can see what it looks like maybe on mobile or on tablet to see if it works for you. All of these themes and templates were developed using CoBlocks and the native Gutenberg block builder editor. So there's no additional plugins needed to accomplish this design. But when we're ready to use it, we will just choose use template. Then you'll be given an option. This will kind of help auto install some of the premium plugins that come with it. So if you want to sell digital goods or have subscriptions or offer appointments, you would throw in your name and then hit continue. So I'm not going to go through that because it just takes a few minutes for it to spin up. But once that site is all set up and ready, I'll show you how to add some of the WooCommerce extensions and things like that. So if you're going ahead and choose this plan, you get access to a bunch of those premium plugins for WooCommerce. So when we look at the plugins, we have things like checkout field editor, follow-ups, product add-ons, 360 image, accommodation bookings, all the way down to returns and warranty requests. And all these are available for you to set up. And I'm sorry, my dogs might go a little crazy here. They hear something outside. But they are set up and ready for you to use. Has anyone not used WooCommerce before? Let me know in the chat.
Justin, I think Anne-Marie wanted to know if all of these are free.
Yes. So if you go with the Managed WordPress e-commerce plan, all of those plugins are available free for the life of the plan. So you'll be able to update them at any time when new updates come out and install, deactivate, do whatever you want with it. So I think Yeah, so I think in total it's roughly like $1,000 in annual fees or annual subscriptions with these plugins that you get with the plan. Especially when you're designing it for a client that needs some of these added benefits, it definitely helps out there.
That's really great. Amica wanted to know if we were going to be getting into the builder at all today, and I was assuming not. Is that correct?
Correct. So the builder as in
stay focused on the online selling part of it, right?
Correct. Yeah, this is just selling directly with WordPress. I'm sure we'll have some webinars in the future. We have tons of content planned for you, so keep in tune with our Crowdcast landing page with all of the awesome webinars, and I'll ping Andy to make sure we have something on that too.
Thanks, Justin.
So when it comes to adding a product, Andy said he's on it. Awesome. When it comes to adding a product, it's pretty straightforward. I think where some of the confusion comes when it comes to adding products is when we start to create variable products. These are things things like shirts, right? Where we have a different color shirt with different sizes. We want to make sure that those reflect with different SKUs and different prices and things like that, which is why I want to set that product up with you. But before I do, when you get started with WooCommerce, you'll want to go through the setup wizard. There's usually a big banner at the top when you get started with WordPress, regardless of any hosting provider. There's usually a button. I accidentally closed it earlier, but you can always get back to it by going to Help and then Setup Wizard. I'm going to go with the old wizard for now, but you can throw in your client's information. Free GoDaddy way. We'll go Scottsdale. I don't know our actual location by heart, so I'm making some of this up. But let's go. So continue. So you can set up Stripe and PayPal automatically since this is your client. Most likely you're not setting these up for them. So we'll just continue for now. I'll leave them disabled. So you can set up flat rate shipping. If you're using the Managed WordPress e-commerce plan, you'll have a separate plugin to set up some of the automatic shipping, but we'll keep this for now. I'll just do a $10 flat rate shipping. Of course, everyone's on the internet being home. Cue Jeopardy music. All right, continue. Cool. It'll recommend a couple of plugins for you if you want to add them. Cool. If not, you can skip the step. Thanks, Cami. I can hear you singing it too. It'll ask you to connect your store to Jetpack. This will set up things like automatic taxes. It's a little bit more secure, adds a little bit more security on top of WordPress. So if you want to keep it, add Jetpack on, awesome. I'm going to skip this step for now since we're focused on WooCommerce. And then this sets up your pages that you need, like your product page, your cart page, your My Account page, all those good things. So even if you're an experienced pro with using WooCommerce, I'd recommend doing this just so you don't have to go back out and find these short codes for those pages and set them up yourself. Remember, we're trying to save time here. So we're going to go ahead and view settings here. Cool. Hey, Milos. All right. So adding a product. So we're going to go ahead and do add new. I'm going to show you how to create a variable product, which is what throws a lot of people off. When it comes to variable product, it uses attributes. So attributes are things like shirt size or color or dimensions, things like that. So I try to set these up ahead of time if they're going to be same across the board. You can set up custom attributes as you kind of create products one by one, but if you're constantly doing the same things over and over, it helps just to create them from the get-go. And you can do that from WooCommerce and attributes. I kind of cheated and created them automatically, but it's pretty easy to create. We'll do, I don't know, length. It won't make sense for a shirt, but just for the sake of the attributes. And then you can configure your terms. So everything that would fit in with the length one that I did. Not very creative this morning. Small. So you just continue to add the new links there and then go from there. But if we go back to our product, let's go ahead and add our awesome shirt. Awesome shirt. And not super creative with the names. So this part confuses some people too. So the first description box is not the description box that'll show up next to the product most of the time. This is going to be where under the additional information. So this is for like long descriptions of the product itself and extra information. So super long description. The one that actually shows up next to the product is all the way at the bottom. And this is where you'll do the super snappy description to get people hooked into really looking at more. I'm going to hide Yoast for now, but to set a product up so it has the different options for people to choose from, so you can set up different SKUs and prices and things like that, you go from simple product to variable product. You can set your SKU 1. You can manage at a product level for your stock. If you want these products to be sold individually, you can check that box. Shipping, you can set your weight. Now, when it comes to shipping and something to set up with your clients, this isn't the actual dimensions of the shirt. This is what the dimensions are when you fold it up. I know people will size out the shirt and then they go to do the orders, especially if they have the automatic shipping, and the actual shipping cost is a lot more than they thought it would, because now they're trying to get a giant box versus the little box that shirt should have came in. So we'll keep it simple for now. Link products, if they have products that are good for upsells or cross sells, you would just type it in. I think I had some demo shirts in here. Yep. So that way it'll show up on the product page. But attributes is where it gets tricky when it comes to variables. So the custom attributes, that was the ones if you wanted to create something on the fly, one by one, you would have your name, so size, and then you would set like small, and then you have that little line, the pipe there, a medium. I'm not going to do that because I want to kind of save myself time. I don't want to type that every single time I'm doing it. So I'm going to go ahead and go size here, that attribute I created earlier. Visible on the product page, you want to make sure you check the box for use for variations, and then you can just select the options that you want. And then save attribute. I want to add color, used for variation. That's super important. And I'm just going to do 2. There's only 2 for this awesome shirt, blue and green. So save variation. So once those are saved, you'll want to drop down to the variations field. You'll notice that there's nothing there. You can create variations from all attributes or add variations yourself. I recommend doing the create variation from all. It'll do all the work for you, save yourself some time. It'll try to do up to 50 if you have a ton of attributes to add. I believe it's max input vars in a php.ini file you can manipulate, so you can have it run a lot higher. But you can see here that it created 6 different variations because I have 3 shirts and then 2 colors. So it'll do large for blue and green, medium for blue and green, small for blue and green. It'll obviously, as you have more attributes, those add up. So it can be pretty easy to get to that 50 mark where it gets capped. But you can set different different images for each different variation, which is awesome if you want to really make it pop for your clients. SKU, and you can set different SKUs here for your different products. Have different prices. Obviously, larger shirt sizes might be more expensive for your client to make, so they can absolutely set that here. Have a sale price if you want. We'll have it say it's $17. If it's stock, you can set separate weight in ounces depending on if it might be larger there. I'm just going to choose some random stuff just for variations itself. As you can see, this can be a lot of work going through each and every product, especially if your client has a ton of products. is why e-commerce sites usually typically cost more when it comes to designing. All right. So I have my shirt set up here. Obviously, product images are all over the place. I wasn't consistent at all. I have my super snappy description. I want to make sure I save changes here. You can do things. There's the advanced section for a purchase note if you want to set up a purchase note for your customers to see. Follow-ups is a plugin I installed, so I'll skip over that for now. And then get more options is a quick link to kind of see different available extensions. But again, WooCommerce Extensions, if you're using this product, is available for you to install. We definitely want to have some sort of product image. So I'm going to throw this in here as the default. Your categories, again, super recommended to have some sort of hierarchy. It makes searching through a site incredibly easy. So let's go ahead and just do clothing and then t-shirts. Product tags, I'll just put shirts. You can set up a gallery. So if you want multiple images to show up for the product, you just throw in the gallery like so. And when you're ready for that product to go live, you just click publish. And I don't have an SSL on my site. I need to get that set up ASAP. But the website is set up nice and easy. So I have my awesome shirt, my super snappy description here. I can choose my option and my color, and then it'll give me my price. I can add more to cart. I can see the different options. And as I switch through the different options, it'll throw on the image that I chose, which is why I chose a bunch of random ones, just so you guys can see the difference there. We have my super long description at the bottom. I have some additional information and reviews. I don't have it accordioned out. I just have it all thrown down with this template. There are ways, if you don't want to show this, there are a couple of plugins you can use to remove that, or there's some code you can add to the functions.php. I typically hide this for my clients and let them add it manually if they want to. But it's up to you. When you're ready, you just go add to cart. I got my 5 awesome shirts, and then that's set up. So I think one of the hardest parts of setting up an online store is for a client is getting the actual products from the client. There's a lot of data that goes into it, which is super time consuming. I had a page set up for a CSV. Let me see if I can grab that really quick. So the cool thing about WooCommerce is you can do a CSV import. So inside of the WooCommerce plugin itself, there's a folder called sample data, and it's like dummy data.csv and XML. So you can set it up to where your clients can go ahead and you can send them that format and have them edit in all their products there. So you can easily import it over. So the actual CSV looks kind of ugly, but you can see how you can set it up. So CSV, that's just the product number there. Type variable, they can set up their SKU, the name, things like the description, the date sale. So obviously this is a lot, but it does help if your client goes and uses this to present all your products to you versus trying to go one by one by one. You can even set product images up in here. One of the tables will ask for a URL. Yep, right here. So if you have the URL live somewhere, it'll automatically pull in. And this is a lot easier to add to a website because all you have to do is go to Tools, Import, choose Run Products, WooCommerce Products, Run Importer. Browse for that file. So you can update existing products if you're just updating, or just import all together. And then all those products are added on. You don't have to go one by one, which, as I believe someone pointed out, is super time consuming. Product import for, yes, that's an awesome plugin too, Anne-Marie. It's probably easier than my suggestion. Cool. So that's the gist of manage WordPress and the e-commerce itself. Again, with this, there's always plugins that extend out the functionality. WooCommerce is, I would say, a beast with what it can do, which also makes it a little bit overwhelming for first-time users. I would say try to keep it simple and stay organized with your clients as far as the back and forth with clients. Yep, as Andy said there too, just to make sure that you're not going crazy back and forth, because at the end of the day, I don't want to go in and individually add all these products. There's been a couple of customers that, a couple of clients of mine that couldn't do the CSV. So I set it up to where they had to add their products. I just had to teach them how, which helped me out a lot. But to each their own with whatever you're wanting to do. Obviously, WooCommerce has tons of helpful videos and tutorials. There's lots of documentation on all of their plugins and these extensions, which is super awesome. And as a thank you for being a part of our first beta webinar for GoDaddy Pro, we wanted to call out an offer we have going on right now. It's $1 for 3 months of that e-commerce WordPress hosting. You just go to go.me/WPWoo to go to our little landing page there. You can set it up, so get 3 months for $1 to really try it out and see if it works for you with all those extra plugins. So there's no extra charge for those plugins. So try it out, see if it works for you. And I'd love to see your WordPress sites when you're done. I believe the retail rate for the plugin, for the plan is $29.99 a month. Cool. So I'd love to spend the rest of the time, I have no idea what time it is, 12:52, answering some questions. So Angela, if you want to hop back on, we can kind of knock this out.
Yeah, sorry, it seems to take a sec sometimes for my video to kick back in. I'm going to go ahead and unfocus that presentation screen so we can get the questions going here. All right, so the top question right now is, when it opens, how do you convince customers that WordPress can be easy to use to sell online?
So I think this really comes down to you setting it up for them and their skill level. So if you believe WooCommerce is going to be too overwhelming for them, maybe try out a different plugin like the PayPal one or the Stripe one. But if you're needing the flexibility that WooCommerce has, I highly recommend creating recorded tutorials of you setting up products or talking through your process. That way that customer or that client can consistently go back and look at that if they get stuck. And you can use that with future clients. You're not explaining the same things over and over and over. I typically use Loom, the recording app, and just kind of talk like I'm talking to them. I don't try to make it super professional because then it just won't come across that way. But talk like you're having a conversation with them, showing them how, so that way they can go in and check it out at any point if they get lost while they're working with you or years after.
That's awesome. I think that's a great suggestion. We already went over showing the presentation a little larger rather than split screen with you. We kind of figured that out mid-webinar. So
focus
I think
mode.
That one. We'll skip that one and we'll do better next time. Thanks for being patient with us on that, guys. The last question I have here in the questions and answers tab is there a way to import existing forms from another program into Contact Form 7?
I want to say yes. It's been a while since I've used Contact Form 7. Do any of my experts in chat have any experience with that? Want to let us know?
Googling.
Otherwise, I can use my Google Foo.
Yeah, that's what Andy's doing right now.
How to import Contact Form 7? All right, there is an FAQ. Yes, so under the Tools Import section, you should be able to import forms. There's probably a better plugin or something for that as well. We are all Googling. Who's got the best Google Foo?
Now it's the race to find the answer. Bing.
Oh gosh, I use Bing. I thought I liked you, Mike.
Next thing you know, he'll tell us he uses Internet Explorer.
Anne-Marie, that is so true. Clients always think we're experts. We're just better at Googling. I remember when I was a support guide on the phones hosting WordPress support. That was when I didn't know most of the stuff as I was new. I think I just Googled most of the answers and it ended up working out.
Anybody have any last minute questions other than comparing the different browsers?
Yeah. Anything related to e-commerce, online store, or working with clients with e-commerce, open forum here.
Or any of the demos shared? Looks like nobody's Google.
All right, so
good today.
Adam put, what is your best advice for marketing an online store?
Oh, I did miss that.
He just posted it and he snuck it in there. So marketing an online store could be an additional service you can provide for your clients. Obviously, they're going to need to change the way they're communicating with this audience. So we all know that, I hope we know that you can set up things like Facebook pixels and Google AdSense to really track people visiting a website. But I think getting the buzz around it starts with social media or paid advertising. And as well as newsletters. So in this time, I'm definitely recommending to my clients to send an email to their clients, just letting them know what they're doing during COVID-19, this crisis, and how they can support them and how they're doing business, just to kind of keep that top of mind. And then using social media to really create posts and content around just some of the cool things that they're doing with their website, like saying, hey, cool, we've appreciated your support. Here's how you can continue. We've just added this online store, create an announcement. But as people visit the website, you can set up things like the Facebook pixel or Google AdSense to repurpose ads for products for people that have come to their website, not necessarily knowing that they now sell products, because if they've already visited the website, they're more likely to continue. So I'm a big proponent, especially using the Facebook pixel to continue to send the people that come to me, send them ads.
Awesome. So yeah, you shared a lot of really great information in your presentation. There was a lot there. So if anybody feels like they would want to see that again, they might want to review those slides one more time. We are going to be sending out a recording after this is finished, maybe in a couple days. We're also going to do a blog post to kind of break down the main ideas that Justin shared here. So you'll have an opportunity to review this information again. It won't be gone as soon as the webinar is over. We are going to be doing another webinar next week here with Justin again. And on the next one, he's going to be sharing some more information about getting your clients selling online, only this time it's going to be beyond WordPress, other tools you can use to facilitate that. Right, Justin?
Sorry, my dogs are going crazy. That is correct. So still finalizing some of the content, but sometimes WordPress isn't what your clients might be using. So we'll be looking at different ways that you can still help them sell online, especially nowadays, with some other cool tools and resources. Yeah,
because I think a few of you were mentioning some other options that your clients have been using to sell online now too. So it'll be great to see some things besides WordPress that you can use for that. We're going to be doing these webinars weekly, and like I said, next one's with Justin. And then if you want to stay tuned, the best way to know what webinars we're going to be having coming up and when they're going to be is going to be following the GoDaddy Pro Twitter handle if you don't already. We're also going to be sending out information in some of our pro newsletters. So I think that's all we have for today. Anybody else have anything else?
I would say if you do have a tool that you are just super passionate about that's not WordPress related, send me an email. I put it in the chat, Nealey@GoDaddy.com. And if it's awesome, I'll make sure it gets featured here, which I'm sure it's awesome you're sharing.
All right, guys, I think we're going to wrap.
Groovy. Thanks, everyone. I hope I see you next week.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Cue the outro music.